We're welcoming back Aytu BioPharma for an update. Aytu BioPharma is listed on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol AYTU. It's presenting a second update since presenting for their first time last year. Aytu BioPharma is a commercial stage pharmaceutical company focused on commercializing novel prescription treatments and are focused on ADHD and pediatric conditions. Aytu has had a lot going on over the last 18 months with some significant milestones achieved. So today I have Josh Disbrow, Aytu's co-founder and CEO, back with me. Josh, great to have you back. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Anna. Thanks for having us, and thanks to everyone for joining us for this update call. We've really had a lot going on over the last several months, several quarters, in fact. And I'll just remind folks that are perhaps hearing this for the first or second time, or just want an update, that we undertook a process quite a few quarters ago, really the better part of almost 2 years ago, to focus the company distinctly on the segment of the business that was driving EBITDA, and we think really leads to the most value creation for investors as we move forward. And that's our RX segment. And our RX segment has been EBITDA positive consistently. Really, 7 out of the last 8 quarters has been driving the company to positive EBITDA. And it's been other aspects of the business that have been draining cash and ultimately masking the strength of that very strong RX segment. And I'll remind you that the RX segment is comprised of 5 prescription products, understanding that we're focused in ADHD as well as in pediatrics. Our ADHD products are unique and proprietary brands. Adzenys XR ODT is an amphetamine that competes with the likes of Adderall XR. And Cotempla XR ODT is also an orally disintegrating tablet, very fast acting, but also a full 12-hour long acting extended release methylphenidate that competes with the likes of Concerta and Ritalin LA. We also have a line of pediatric multivitamins as well as a liquid antihistamine. So very focused in very large categories, particularly in the case of the ADHD category, which in the US alone accounts for over 80 million prescriptions. ADHD continues to be a prevalent condition. That market continues to grow at a rapid rate due to increased diagnoses and awareness of the fact that many patients, in fact, do have this underlying condition and may have not been heretofore diagnosed. So our products compete very favorably in that category. And again, we're very excited to be focusing specifically in the RX segment. When you look at our highlights, and this really will bring you up to speed through the quarter ending March 31st of this year, so through our fiscal third quarter, reflecting 9 months of progress. And it's really been nothing short of a remarkable transformation for the company as, we focus specifically on generating positive EBITDA, getting to cash flow, and driving growth of the RX segment. And that we've done for sure. If you look at company-wide adjusted EBITDA, which accounts for not just the RX segment, but also the consumer segment, as well as accounts for some R&D, you'll note that we have a trailing 9-month EBITDA number of over $7.5 million, almost $8 million. And that, again, just reflects the 3 quarters ending March 31st. So we're excited about the momentum that we've captured. And again, I remind you that we have generated positive EBITDA in 7 out of the last 8 quarters, really driven by the growth of the prescription segment, as well as consolidation of expenses as we continue to wind down the non-profitable cash burning aspects of our business. And again, the go-forward business, as you think about the pro forma Aytu as a company, is really how to think about us. Think about us really as the ADHD and pediatric products, and think about us no longer having the consumer business, which I'll speak to here briefly, no longer really being in manufacturing true to form, and that we'll have outsourced a lot of that. And again, just focusing on the prescription segment. That segment for the trailing 9-month period came in at over $50 million, $50.6 million in net revenue, and posted an adjusted EBITDA of almost $9 million. So you can see, a $1.1 million delta that has contributed. That's reflective of the parts of the business that really we're getting out of. And so if you were to adjust us on a go-forward basis and assume we do another couple $1 million in EBITDA in the June quarter, which we'll report out in the fall, you can imagine an EBITDA line that's well north of $10 million annually with an operating profit of $1.1 million through the 9-month period as well. So very excited to be, in the black, so to speak. We are now a taxpayer on the basis of how the tax code works. And while not quite net income positive due to some artifacts in our cap structure, we are very excited to be able to consistently show EBITDA in the positive, again, 7 out of the last 8 quarters. And without sharing too much on the June quarter, we're very excited about how this quarter is shaping up and would expect to continue our run of positive EBITDA quarters here as we move forward. And as you can see here, the ADHD franchise, Adzenys XR ODT and Cotempla XR ODT are really driving the revenue for the company, and those products continue to perform exceptionally well, up 42.5% year to date versus the same period ending March of last year, up a full 40+% this year. And the pediatric multivitamins, while they did take a hit due to some payer coverage changes, we're able to, I think, finally start to see some rebound with those products, and do have, we think, a very positive outlook for the pediatric multivitamin franchise, as well as Carbinol ER. Pediatric multivitamins are up 21% sequentially when you look at the March quarter versus the previous quarter ending December 31st. So starting to see some rebound there, and positive momentum as we reshape some of that some of our infrastructure around that. We've gotten some recent payer news that's very, very positive. That's enabling us to shift and resource around some of the pediatric products while we continue to resource our ADHD products, Adzenys and Cotempla. Importantly, from a financial health perspective, we were able to last month get a refinancing done on our term note. That term note, as you may recall, was coming current. It was to be maturing here and just coming up at the beginning of next calendar year in January of 25. Really happy to say that we've consolidated both our term note along with our revolver with Eclipse and Eclipse Business Capital, that is. We've been working with them for quite a while as they held our revolver, and we're able to get a deal done to actually materially improve our terms versus the terms that we had with Avenue, and actually buy down the principal from 15 to 13 million, and accordingly kick out the maturity to June of 28. Now, this is a fully amortizing loan, so no more just interest only, whereby we're looking at a large bullet payment when we're in a good enough cash position, and certainly in a good enough position from a income from operations perspective, that we're able to start amortizing from day one to start paying principal and interest, such that we'll have less than $6 million due on the note at maturity in June of 28. So excited to get that done. We think this materially improves our near-term outlook as we think about going concern, as we think about the ability to operate with cash on hand without a need to access the capital markets. And to that end, ending the quarter of ending March 31st with almost $20 million in cash on hand, which compares essentially the same as what we had on hand back in December. So holding on to our cash, if you look at the last 3 quarters from September to December to now March, we're essentially north of $19 million in cash equivalents. So in a good position, not quite building cash yet, but certainly holding on to our cash position. So very, very excited about how we've been able to restructure, refocus, and really streamline the operation around the profitable EBITDA positive RX segment. And again, great to see this great growth in these large categories. ADHD continues to be a growth category. And again, the pediatric products, we think, have hit a nice rebound here as we start to observe some positive payer changes and start to resource some of those changes accordingly as we move into our fiscal 25, which we are now in. So with that, really happy to share this update with you. I'm looking forward to continue to update investors. Again, we're on a June 30 year end, and so we'll be in a position to report out our full year fiscal 24 and Q4 numbers in September, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'll be happy to hand it back to Anna. I know she's compiled a few questions from investors. So Anna, I'll let you ask those, and then we can get wrapped up and get folks out of here to the next meeting.
Perfect. Thanks, Josh. So as it relates to your ADHD products, what differentiates those products in the market? And also, it sounds like the opportunity for those products is pretty big here in the U.S. Is there potential outside the U.S.?
Yeah, I'll take the first one first as it relates to what differentiates our products. And it's really 2 key pieces from a clinical perspective, and then a very important piece from a customer-facing perspective. The clinical differentiators are quite compelling. First of all, these are true 12-hour long-acting stimulants. Both Adzenys and Cotempla work for a full 12 hours, and that compares very favorably to many of the incumbent products that, frankly, have varying durations of effect, some as little as 7 to 9 hours. So we can truly advertise and give patients the confidence that they last a full 12 hours. Alongside of that, though, they work very quickly. They have rapid onsets of action, and that's enabled through the proprietary microparticle release technology that really underlies this technology, these products. And importantly, these are the only orally disintegrating tablet in the extended release category. So they work very quickly, they dissolve in the mouth very rapidly, and they last a full 12 hours to get a person through the workday or through the school day, inclusive of after-school activities. But what makes these really compelling is the value proposition for patients when they're picking the prescriptions up at the pharmacy. We have a program called RX Connect, which is proprietary, and through a network of about 1,000 pharmacies nationwide, we're able to have physicians prescribe these products specifically to partner pharmacies, and we're able to guarantee a copay of not more than $50 for both of these products. In fact, all of our products have capped copays for commercially insured patients. It's a really second to none, first-in-class program. No other manufacturer offers such a generous program. This enables us to get new patients, to attract physicians that are tired of the hassles that they face with PBMs on an hourly basis, and able to get these patients the prescription products they need at a price not to exceed $50. So that's a really compelling economic value. And then when you think about ex-US opportunities for the US, while the US is by far the largest opportunity for these products, we just signed over the last few quarters our first ex-US licensing deal to bring Adzenys and Cotempla to the country of Israel. And we're working on subsequent deals to explore additional opportunities outside of the US. And more to follow on that, but we are in active discussions with multiple parties and are excited about the opportunity to potentially out-license and bring in non-dilutive royalty revenues from some partnering that we think we can do outside the U.S. So nice opportunity, and again, being opportunity for non-dilutive royalty income from outside the U.S. through partnership. So yeah, appreciate that question.
Fantastic. Well, Josh, we are out of time, but we do have more questions for you. So that just means you have to come back and give us another update real soon.
Sounds good. Be happy to do that. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, everyone, for attending the conference.
All right. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back.